everybody! Look, I put a 200 in the back.
Oh, that's so cool.
We've done 200 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I just forgot to take it away. I'm just rolling with it now.
Yeah.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
Graham.
Welcome to the post-credit show. We talk about games we played, movies we watched, other sort of nerd stuff we've done. See, this is where you can talk about Warhammer constantly because it's other nerd stuff.
Right.
Quickly
panic.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And played.
Well, that's the watch part is always like my hardest one because I'm like.
Because I watch hundreds of hours of YouTube.
Well, so like, that's my thing. Like I turn on my Game Grumps play thing, and I'm like, this is nice, and that's what I watch. Or like I got. The one thing that pissed me off the other day actually is I was sitting here playing one of the games I was playing. I had my phone sitting here, and it was just playing old SNL clips. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is delightful because it was just like SNL skit goes to the next one, goes to the next one, and then it cut to an old Weekend Update with Norm Macdonald. And I'm like, okay, it's still SNL. We've gone retro now, as opposed to like I was watching all this newer stuff, and now I'm on Norm Macdonald. So I hit the next button. Then it was just a Norm Macdonald clip of something, not even from SNL. Like I got into this like Norm Macdonald feed, and I'm like, I don't mind Norm Macdonald.
The what is it? The YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go down. I was quite happy with the rabbit hole of just SNL clips. I didn't want Norm Macdonald clips. So, I got stuck in that little loop of stuff. But I was playing Planet Zoo while I was watching that. So from the people that brought you Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution, have now brought you Planet Zoo. You build a zoo.
Yay.
I like zoos. I loved Zootopia back in ye old times.
Like build your own zoos and that kind of like... That kind of thing.
Was that the name? Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, that was the name of the game.
So these guys, Planet Coaster was originally the Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 guys that came and did Planet Coaster.
Okay.
And again, they were some of the other Tycoon guys. So this one is Planet Coaster. You build your stuff. Like you don't have to put power in because your coasters are magic and don't need electricity. Like you just assume that there's electricity.
Yeah. That was the fun part about the Zoo Tycoon games is they had that freedom.
This one you actually have to put. So now here's the thing, they've done a really good job of this one. Planet Coaster had sandbox mode, which was the best mode to build Planet Coaster in because you built a theme park.
Yeah.
And the cool part with Planet Coaster was you put the shop down, and it was just a block.
Oh, and then things.
And then you built around it. So
yeah.
they gave you all the shapes you wanted to put around the shop, and you're like, yes. So if you want to,
just like a burger stand plop.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. But if you want to go nuts.
But if you like, there's people that recreate Disney parks, and you're just like, I don't know how your computer can run that for one, and then two, like, holy jeez.
Yeah.
So Planet Zoo kind of takes off from Jurassic World Evolution and Planet Coaster. So the story mode gets you into, like, there's the story stuff.
Right.
And you are a new caretaker for these people who own the zoo franchise. And I mean, the first level's like, zoom in on the bear habitat, and then like double click on the bear. So you get a bear camera and you follow a grizzly bear around. And you're like, oh, I'm following a grizzly bear. Yeah. And then like, I laughed because like it's in-game cinematic essentially, so it's it does this sweeping like here's our zoo sort of thing as you're doing it, and as it's doing that, one of the tigers at the zoo is or the lions was taking a massive poop, and I'm like, awesome. The trick to Planet Zoo is you have to build the enclosure. You have to make sure that the enclosure has the right kind of
habitat?
The habitat's built as a habitat. So, like, warthogs need more dirt.
Right.
And it tells you there's bars and all of that stuff. If they're from Africa, they do not like trees from North America.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You do have to power things. So there's power generators that guests can't see.
Yeah.
So you have to put them in places, like you have to hide stuff.
That's like Jurassic World.
That's where the Jurassic World stuff comes in. There's water filtration units that you have to put in. So if you have ponds and stuff in your habitats, if you don't have the water filtration system to help them, they'll get, like, the animals can catch diseases, that kind of stuff. You have to have vets to take care of the animals. You have to have caretakers to keep the habitats clean. You have to have mechanics to keep, like, the fences built and all of that stuff, because the animals can't escape.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Which is the fun part about these games.
So there's the possibility that the animal can escape. They do let you pause the game and do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not like, the animal's escaped, and you have to catch it before you can pause the... Like, the animal escapes, you can pause the game.
Build the wall, and then...
Like, rebuild the wall so that none of the other ones escape sort of thing, and then proceed forward.
Yeah.
The cool part, like, just like Planet Coaster, is everything. Like, you build the habitat wall, you can raise it, lower it, do that kind of stuff. Different walls are climbable, which doesn't matter if you have an aardvark, because aardvarks don't climb.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you have monkeys,
Dull.
they climb.
Yeah.
But the other part, if you're looking for a certain aesthetic, so like if you're building a monkey thing, but you want it wood because it fits with everything else.
Yeah.
Well, they can climb the wood fence.
Yeah.
Right.
It's climbable. You can put a cap at the top that stops them from climbing.
Okay.
But you have to then research all of that to unlock it within your game. If you're playing sandbox mode, you can hit a button, it unlocks everything, and you're good to go. You just build to your heart's content. You can turn off animal death. You can turn off, like, diseases are off, this is off. Like, you can just build your zoo, make it look pretty, and you're done.
Yeah.
Which people are doing. Like, they're trying to recreate famous zoos and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Franchise mode was where Planet Coaster sucked.
Okay.
Because you click the button, and essentially it was like, okay, here's $15,000 or whatever. Start a park.
Yeah.
Well, by the time you're done building a burger shack, you're down to like $10,000. Then you build a merry-go-round, and you're out of money.
What a theme park!
Right.
And you grind that.
Well, so then you have to sit there and like. Yeah, play the game of, like, where's the sweet spot that I can make money? Like, people are buying burgers left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So that I can build the ice cream shop next, or the milkshake place next door.
And then...
To rake in money.
Yeah.
And then I gotta get, like, the optimum number of people on this merry-go-round at one time.
Yeah.
To make money. Like, that was it. You're just going,
like a money management game, not a roller coaster.
Not a roller coaster.
Right, and then so you're sitting there for, like, 3 in-game years going, like, I've essentially built a park. Like, a park. Not a theme park. A park. And then, like, you finally build a roller coaster, and you're like, yes, like, and it's the babiest of roller coasters, but it attracts people, and you get gate admission, and then they can pay for the ride, and da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, this is stupid, because it takes so long to do anything.
Yeah.
The reward versus the time you're putting in isn't there.
Yeah.
This one, you go into franchise mode, and you're like, you are the owner of multiple zoos.
Oh, so you've got the money to just...
So to open a zoo, you need conservation points, which you can get by playing other parts of the game. You can get it just by logging in. They'll give you 100 conservation points every day if you play the game.
Log in,
yeah. They give you 100 conservation points. That starts the game. Like, you can build a zoo. All of your zoos are connected to the same pile of cash. All of your research is connected to those, like, things.
Yeah.
So once you kind of build a park, like, let's say you just want to do an African safari thing, you build that zoo. You can start another zoo with all the income you've gathered from this zoo. So I'm like, okay, let's see if it's the same problem. I built the zoo, and of course you have to build like an animal trading center, because that's how you get animals.
Oh, yeah.
You need a quarantine center, because when you get the animals,
you got to
quarantine them before putting them into the habitat. You need a vet.
Yeah.
If you want to build anything other than what they give you at the beginning of the franchise, you need the research center.
Yeah.
Then you need the vet research center. So there's 2 research centers. There's one for animals. There's one for park stuff. So I built all of that off to the side because I know no one's supposed to look at it, and it's supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be out of the way. Go away. Barrel Roll News is online.
What?
So I built all of that out of the way, and then I built my first little section, and I'm like, okay, like I like at our zoo right now, like they got the otters.
Yeah.
So I built a tank for the otters. There's no otters in the game. So I Control-Z it until it gave me all my money back. And then I'm like, pause the game, go through the entire like Zoopedia of what's in there.
What you can actually...
What can I actually build? And so I'm like, oh, I'll do these things. And then I look, and they were a fortune to like adopt them. And I'm like,
yeah.
You can use conservation points. So like by playing online, if I like my aardvarks have a kid, I can actually put that kid up into the trading center.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
For conservation points.
Yeah.
Or you can buy with conservation points.
Yeah.
So you're not spending your money, you're spending the conservation points. It's this kind of balancing
another currency to just play around with.
Yeah. You can't buy conservation points. It's not a microtransaction thing. It's just because you're a zoo, they want you to educate and conserve, and you can even release them into the wild to gain conservation points.
Oh, okay.
So if like they're having problems with their population, you can release them into the wild to stop that.
Yeah.
So either way, I finally just organized by price, and then by money because I wasn't spending my conservation points right off the bat. Those are for emergency purposes.
Yeah.
And aardvarks came up cheap. And I'm like, they can't be that hard to build for. It's an aardvark. So I put the aardvark in, put a male and a female in.
Yeah.
Because now at least I can,
breed some
make
stuff.
them do the thing, like on the Discovery Channel, as it were. and then we'll see how that goes. Aardvarks only like living in families of 2. So I have.
Is that like real? Like, is this based on like fact?
I think so.
Oh.
So if you have more aardvarks, like I could have split the cage.
Oh, okay.
And then aardvark, had them living separately, sort of thing. You make money through donation boxes. That kind of stuff. So my aardvarks, I built a little cage. I built a habitat. I made like glass walls. Originally, I just built the thing already. I wasn't sure about aardvarks being in there, and for whatever reason, so the walls are like 4 feet high, sort of thing. Like they're, like I have like 4 meters high. Sorry, like they're pretty massive walls.
Yeah.
When it comes to for aardvarks, but I'm like I did it on purpose because on the other side of that wall, the entrance is the burger place and the Gulpy station, which is the drink place, the information booth, and the balloon stall.
Yeah.
So I built kind of like this entrance to my zoo, and then behind it, as you walk in, is now the animals.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
And I still had, after doing all of that, so I had 4 shops. I built around the shops, like I decorated them, and that's very simple because I didn't have much to build off of. I had hired all the people that I needed to hire, had 2 aardvarks, had the thing, and I still had like $5,000. And I'm like, okay, I can do a lot with $5,000. And then the donation box starts taking off, and then people are like, you're not charging enough for your zoo, so I increased like the gate admission, and I'm like, okay. And the other piece is, as soon as you get the aardvarks, your vet research can start studying aardvarks.
Okay.
So then you can put stuff in their cage that they play with, which increases donations because now there's a cute aardvark playing with a beach ball.
Yeah.
And then they're healthier because they're also getting this like engagement factor that's also a piece of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So the ball rolls a little faster.
So everything kind of, and then you can put up plaques in front of your thing that actually has like a picture of an aardvark on it, and then like fun facts about aardvarks. Like you can put them on the habitats, and it's like, and then you actually gain points for educating people.
Oh. So those points
and
can
it's
be spent like currency too.
And you're like, I enjoy this.
Yeah.
So then I got warthogs. And that's pretty much where I'm at. I have to build another habitat. So it's slower, but it's slower because you have to build the entire habitat.
Yeah, right.
Like it's legitimately like you're terraforming, and then like, oh, these guys need long grass, and then they can only have trees from Africa that are tropical trees. Like, it's all very specific. They can't have too many trees. Like, you're very much watching all of this stuff. If you screw up, which I don't know how I did because I put my water thing in. Yeah. My warthog water got dirty. So my vet, actually, I had them research the disease that they had caught. So you can do that, which makes it less likely to catch them, or if they do, they can treat it faster. Yeah. So I had them research that at the same time. It's like I hired another vet because I'm like, more research needs doing. So I researched that. But I had like protesters ready to come to my zoo because I was not taking care of my warthogs. And you're like, I kind of dig that because it does. It makes you responsible for these lives of these animals, and you're like, that's cool. Yeah. There's a zoo inspector that comes by that can fail you and dock you money and fine you. So if your like stuff is enough to snuff, they will fine you money. Okay. And then everything just has to be repaired and all of that jazz, but it's all in all, I'm digging the franchise mode, as opposed to the sandbox mode, which I was really afraid of because, like Planet Coaster
did not.
The franchise mode was junk. Like I had way more fun just building buildings and plopping them down. This one I can still have time building things, but I'm still making money. So now like I even put some exhibits up at the front where that's some frogs,
Yeah.
Because you build a big exhibit, and it's just a big black block until you order the frogs and drop them in, and it builds the habitat.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to control humidity and light. So, like, there's all of that fine balance of stuff. And I'm like,
do you have to hire staff to, like, make food and then feed them and all that stuff? And
so then there's, like, the keeper huts. So the keepers. They have to go and check the animal cage to see if they need to be fed. Step 1. Then they go back to the keeper hut to make the food. And then you go back to the cage to drop off the food. So if you only have your keeper hut way over there, they check the cage, walk all the way back, grab the food, go all the way back. So you have to have keeper huts in different places too, so that they can actually, And again, people don't like seeing keeper huts, so you have to build them off the beat. You have to hide them. You have to build them off the beaten track. They did build staff only walkways.
Oh, so that only staff.
So only staff.
Kind of like the old Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Which they got rid of for a while in Planet Coaster. There was no, like, your staff walked on. Like, and it's like, well, I'd like staff only walkways. That'd be cool.
People won't complain about.
Seeing this or seeing that. So this one you build the staff walkway, you put all of your stuff along the staff walkway, and I'm still trying to see if like I can put bushes and stuff around, try and like hide them a bit, like do the Disney thing of like, is that actually a power generator or is it supposed to be there sort of question. Like, or you don't see them at all because there's a bush.
It's so well concealed.
I'm still trying to, since the game just came out, there's not a lot of good tips websites out. Everybody's taking pictures because they're doing the sandbox thing where they're like, observe my entrance, and there's waterfalls cascading down and all. It's like, what animals do you have? None. This is my entrance. Like, I've been sandboxing. God.
It's not about the animals, yo.
Yeah, it's about building things. This is a planet game, don't you know? I'm enjoying it though. It's quite relaxing.
It sounds like I think I might get that one too.
So it's relaxing. I've been enjoying it. I wish there were more varieties of animals.
Well, they'll probably do like DLCs.
They'll do DLCs, which is fine, but it's like I was hoping for otters because otters are I like
adorable.
They're adorable. So you want to start off with otters.
Yeah.
Like there's a severe lack of like North American timber wolves.
Oh, okay.
Like there's
you don't have moose or
no. There's grizzly bears and timber wolves.
Okay.
Like
beavers. No
nope.
Beavers.
Have a whole. You can get flamingos, and apparently you can put like 500 in a habitat, and they're still happy.
What?
Your habitat has to be real big.
Yeah.
But they're happy with like a flock of 500 flamingos, and I'm like, cool.
I'm gonna go make a habitat. Exactly.
You get peacocks and that kind of stuff, and some of the animals can just walk around.
That's what I was gonna ask, because like our zoo does that sometimes, where like sometimes they'll even take the turtle out or the tortoise.
So they don't do that. Like they don't do that. You can't just have a turtle roaming the zoo, but like the peacock can actually just roam.
Just roam. Oh, okay.
Because he's non-threatening.
Right.
Yeah.
My warthog got out because I moved the cage. Because it tells you like they need this much room, like per square inch or per square foot, because it's a European game.
Yeah.
So they actually use our system of measuring things.
Yeah.
So like per square foot, and I'm like, oh, I can shrink this and save myself some. Because people were like, I guess I can see the warthog, and I'm like, I guess they're kind of far away. So I started shrinking the thing, but I didn't notice the one that was in like the mud.
Oh yeah.
He blended in from where I was looking, and all of a sudden it's like an animal has escaped, and I'm like, Control Z, because I was paused.
Yeah.
So it popped the wall back, but like the 4 people that had been standing there were like running for their lives.
Warthog on the loose.
Yeah. And I'm like,
glorious.
Good to know, but the story mode does run you through that.
Yeah.
Like what to do when a monkey escapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vet has to chase them down and box them back up and get them back into the thing, and make sure you have mechanics to keep your fences built. Otherwise, they deteriorate. So
that's reminding me of Jurassic World.
But that's
Jurassic.
the piece.
What is it called?
Jurassic World Evolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the piece. Is they took both of those games and
did a good
smooshed them
job.
together.
That's cool.
You can build walkways over the exhibits.
Oh, good.
So you can actually so you can do the observation deck down into the zoos they've built in the story mode. I'm like, well, mine will never look this good. Because I'm still like I'm building on a grid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be cheeky and make a walkway go diagonally. Not up, not down, just diagonally. So yeah, Planet Zoo, fun, relaxing, and again, the Planco music that plays is just very.
Oh, I love their soundtracks.
I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
I want to play that too.
It is a delightful game. If you've played any of the other if you played Luigi's Mansion 1, because I've played that one, it is Luigi's Mansion. You suck stuff up with the vacuum. Yeah. The big thing in this one is Gooigi. So you have a green goopy version of yourself that pops out of your backpack and you can control. He can walk through spikes and he can walk through like chain link fences.
Without getting hurt.
So you can pass through things. So the puzzle solving they've added.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Otherwise, Luigi's still a giant scaredy cat. Yeah. He has a ghost dog now though. Who came from the second game. Yeah. Cool. He came from the second game.
What's that ghost dog's name?
Yes. The voice recording in this game is still a Mario game, so all Luigi. Well, and then like, hey, Pappy, hey, Pappy, and you're just like, I think he's Polterpup or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Hey, Pappy, a good Pappy, and you're just like, oh, Luigi. Been watching The Good Place. Not going to talk about it other than I'm watching it, and everybody should watch it.
Yeah.
Because. That you say one word about that show and it spoils it.
Yeah.
And I watched the Seth Meyers comedy special on Netflix.
I heard that was good. I've heard other people watch that.
So and this one's online as a thing, but he's talking, does his whole rigmarole of stuff.
Yeah.
Talking and saying things.
Yeah.
Look at it on Netflix.
And so he's making his, slice of life jokes. His wife has a baby, da-da-da-da-da-da. This is, the story and event that happened to that point. And then he gets to a part and he's like, so now, like, people are used to me talking about politics. And he's like, so I do have some ready to go. And he's like, but there's this cool thing, like Netflix, you can skip intros and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, so we're gonna put a button somewhere on the screen that lets you skip the political jokes. So if you don't want to hear me make jokes about Trump, like, press the button now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And I'm sitting there going,
"Oh fuck!"
Is Netflix gonna add the
button?
Start of the movie.
Ba-bong, ba-bong.
Stop!
Netflix, ba-bong. But is like Netflix actually gonna add the button, or is he just gonna look like an idiot on stage pointing at the corner of the TV? And then the button actually popped up, and it's like skip jokes, and I'm like, no. So I left it go, and he's like, we're just gonna give him some time. Okay. So then he goes into the jokes, and I'm like, that was pretty good. It's just weird to see Seth Meyers doing stand-up because he tried doing the opening monologues on his Late Show, and they didn't take off because that's not really Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
So then he went back to just doing the behind the desks monologues, which worked out. Like his closer looks are hilarious if you watch them on YouTube. This one was like he's in a shirt and jeans and he's a comedian and you're like, this is weird. But he opens with like, you're used to seeing me in a suit and tie and behind a desk. Not tonight. Like,
yeah.
And some of the jokes were kind of like, but he's Seth Meyers, so he's still like, he's not a jerk, which helps. So even when the jokes aren't really like, boom, funny, you're still like, that was a cute story.
That was a good.
I don't mind listening to you tell this story, even though it's like a moderate chuckle at the end.
Yeah.
Because it's just a good story, as opposed to. So it's like my Kevin Smith, where I'm not I'm not watching him to laugh. I'm watching him because
he's
a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And some of the jokes are really good because he does have some that land, and some of them you're just like, oh god, like. All right. So that's one of those things to check out.
And nod.
Exactly, and again, it's not like I've watched some where you turn it on and the first line out of their mouth is like, "My wife is such a bitch," and you're like, "Well, we're done." Like,
that's the end of that.
Yeah. Like you got to lead into that at some point in the story, and then
especially
tell me why.
Things like this are usually end up being background noise to just whatever I'm painting or playing. So like.
I need a cute little story about how his wife's giving birth in the back of an Uber. Like, So, no, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I do like Seth Meyers, so that also helps.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where there's comedy specials, and I'm like, I don't know about this because I'm not really
there's a lot of them. I just off of.
Yeah.
In like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like literally, there was one where the guy started making fun of his wife, like before even saying hello to the crowd.
Oh, geez.
And I'm going, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this.
No. If that's your opening line.
Yeah. Right. So, no, it was good. It was a good show. That was pretty much all I've done this week. Other than we've dice thrown a bit and that kind of stuff, but
which I wrote on my list. We dice thrown.
Look at me go.
Yeah, segue.
Ta-da.
Yeah, we played more dice thrones. We played some last night.
We did play some last.
You pulled off 2 ultimates in one game and destroyed me.
You got to get all 6s.
Yeah. And there's 5 dice. So. Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. A specific Yahtzee, not just like.
Yahtzee.
Not just all ones. All ones would give you your basic attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
All 6s though. Yeah, I ultimated, and then Brian countered my ultimate and changed 2 of my dice with one of his cards. But I had the exact same card Brian had, so I flipped them back.
So you flipped them back. I was like,
savage.
Very savage. It was so savage. And I was like, nah, got nothing else. I'm done. But still, I think
Chris beat me in the end.
Oh yeah. I saw the end. With the gunslinger.
Lady Cowboy.
Still think this is my favorite board game.
I enjoy
all
it
time. It's
wholeheartedly.
If at the end of the year, I'm gonna add a favorite board game of the year.
Whoa! All right.
Maybe
we can just all talk about dice throwing.
Because that's all we played. No, good game. Good game.
Buy it. Yeah. Roxley Entertainment.
Alberta.
You should fund us.
Yeah.
It's local. Oh, that's even better.
So we did judging for the Alberta Game and Design Awards.
Yeah.
So it was board games and video games made in Alberta.
That's cool.
And Roxley went away with like 6 awards. That the guy just kept going up there.
Yeah.
And like, thank you again. I am out of things to say. Like
really nice guy too. You talked to him.
Well, so I went down because I'm like, I'll go down and just. Hey man, like congrats. So I walked down and I'm like, you should have brought like reusable shopping bags or something because he had to go back to Calgary because that's where they're located.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, well, I wasn't. He's like, I brought help because he had 2 other people with him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they each had like 2 of these trophies in their hands, and I'm like, congrats though, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And he ended up finding me on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And adding me, so I added him back, and I'm like, so I like every once in a while I'll send him a message and he'll actually reply to stuff, and I'm like. I know a guy.
I am on the inside.
But their social media is actually really good because there's a fan-made Facebook group for the game that discusses rules and asks questions and does all that stuff. The developers will actually pop in to answer questions.
Oh, cool.
Like, so when people are like, my friend did this, and is he allowed to do that, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, well, if you read the instructions, it says this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a pretty good game for that. I mean, the only thing that came up yesterday was the gunslinger's defense is called duel.
Oh, okay.
Each of you rolls 1 dice.
Yeah.
If the gunslinger wins, she gets to choose if she takes half damage or does 3 damage to you.
Okay.
If you roll higher, like the attacker, you take 1 damage, but she takes the full brunt of whatever you've hit her with.
Yeah.
So, like, Chris and I both rolled 3s. And we're like... So we look on the back because they actually have on the new characters frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
It wasn't on there, and we're just like, we're assuming the bullets hit, on the way.
Yeah.
Ping! We roll again.
Yeah.
Like agreed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
House. Yeah.
Well, because again, it says like there's a high roller and a low roller. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming we roll until there's a high roller and a low roller.
Right.
So
yeah.
But that's the thing is like if you read everything as it says, because even with my ultimate attack is inflict stun. So I stun him. Stun in the card is after you've done damage, you get another offensive roll phase, so you get to attack again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I inflicted stun first, I did 15 damage to him and then rolled again.
Oh.
Yeah. For another offensive roll.
Yeah. For another offense, so I got to attack Chris.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Because then the game works. You roll dice to determine who you attack.
Oh,
You can play 2 different modes with their rules. One of them is roll dice, evens odds, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or you can play King of the Hill, which is the other rule. You have to attack the person with the most health. Oh, no. If you attack the person with the most health, you get to draw a card.
Oh, so there's advantages to just going for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but in that one, you can choose anybody
you
else.
can choose anybody you want to, but you don't get an advantage.
Okay.
And if you have the most health, you don't get an advantage.
Right, because there's no.
Because you can't. You're not going to hit yourself, and the next person will
Stop hitting yourself.
Stop hitting yourself, but I get to draw a card. Excellent.
Excellent.
But yeah, stellar game.
Stellar game.
Yep. Then you played.
I played the Warcraft 3 Reforged beta.
Excellent.
So
I opened it.
You opened it. Every time you built a burrow or a barracks.
I got to build one building, and then my game crashed.
And then your game would trash.
Didn't matter which building it was.
Yeah.
Because I looked at Brian, and I'm like, Brian was like, what were you doing? And I'm like, well, I had like 5 orcs in the mine. I had a couple at the wood.
Yeah.
And I was building my first burrow. And then the game froze.
Yeah.
So Brian's like, well, maybe it was just maybe that's the combo.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe there's.
So we started another game. Like, I reloaded the game, got in, and I'm like, okay, build the barracks first then. So, like, same thing, like, orcs in the mine, that's over there. Build barracks. Freeze. And I'm like,
crashes.
Great.
It's like great.
It's beta.
It's still beta,
beta. It makes no sense to me because it's still just Warcraft 3, so you think Battle.net should just be to Battle.net like it used to Battle.net with fancier graphics.
Like what changed? What changed
in the graphics?
And how,
The orcs don't look like weird little, like,
polygon.
Things anymore.
Green shapes.
All the voice lines are still there because they didn't re-record anything, so it's still Zug, get to work. Me work.
That's great.
Yeah.
Stop clicking me.
Stop clicking.
Yeah.
Stop pushing me. I'm not that kind of orc.
It's Warcraft 3. It took me a while to get back in to figure out my build order.
Yep.
It's
in the RTSs.
Yeah. But it seems like if someone builds as an orc, you know how Zergs, if you built in StarCraft, there's a Zerg rush.
Yeah.
I find orcs, if you play enough, a lot of people go for the Blade Master as their hero, and then they just kind of bum rush your base.
Yep.
And then
because they can
and they can just disappear and walk away.
Yeah, Shadow Walk. Spirit Walk.
Or Wind Walk.
Wind Walk.
That's
my hero in that game.
Yeah. It's good hero.
Yeah, you build 5 orcs, you get your hero, and you go into their base.
You go in their base and
just
wreak havoc.
Rape and pillage, as orcs do.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like I said, when we used to play Warcraft 3 in high school, the guys I played with, all 3 of us would play orcs. And so 3 on 3, you went into a fight, and it was like there's 3 orcs, and people would laugh at us.
Oh, yeah.
Because orcs are the slowest build.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, it takes forever to get units.
Yeah.
But we would bum rush a base with like 15 grunts. I would pick the Shadow Priest to heal. One of them would have the Tauren Chieftain to like do the area of effect damage, and the other guy had the Blade Master, or I had the Blade Master. Someone had a healer. Either way, we always kind of worked our way through it. Well, the Spirit Healer has the chain healing.
Yeah.
So he's keeping everything alive.
Yeah.
The Blade Master's wind walking in and out and critting everything that shows up.
Yeah.
The Taurens just go into town on all of the bases, like all of the buildings, and then our orcs are just like, and smash. And if they didn't come in to defend at all, we would destroy a base.
Yeah, and then they'd be down a player.
And we'd be building like our next units at the like.
We
would have already started upgrading, so all of a sudden I have like one of my flying units or whatever it was that I was building that turn.
Yeah.
It was like, who's laughing now? Like, and then you're like typing in general chat like, for the horde, as you like rush in, and it's like, bring it.
That is glorious.
Yeah. It was great. Like I still remember some of those fights where you're just like, we had it down to a science.
Yeah. You have it down to like this and this and this at this time do this. Yeah. Good old RTSs.
Yep. And as long as everybody plays to the plan, you're good.
Yeah, if you play to your
Because StarCraft 2, I still remember I played with Chance, who we used to work with.
And
my God. We spent ages in like custom mode against PCs, just building.
Yeah.
We'd get into the map, and I'd have my units ready, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And he's like, oh, I'm not ready yet. And I'm like, well, what the hell happened? We've practiced this 3 times. This should be as easy as pie.
Yeah.
And then I go over to his base, and I'm like, those are not the buildings or the units you were supposed to be building.
Yeah.
And he's like, I thought I'd try something new. And I'm like, against humans?
We practiced for this.
Yeah.
It's like practicing with players on a...
Practice with players and then fight the computer with the new strategy.
It's like,
It's working for you, though? You're enjoying it? It looks pretty, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's Warcraft.
Obviously, the news of them not...
retconning stories and doing that kind of stuff.
Which... was a big selling point for me, because like I can always go back to Warcraft 3 and just play with the shitty graphics. I don't care. So I pre-purchased this for expectations. Those expectations are gone. It's okay. I still love Warcraft 3. I love RTSs, and I'll still play this game. But that's a little bit of a disappointment for me. Mm-hmm. But no, it's Warcraft 3. It's great.
Yeah.
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 I don't know what else to say at this time. It's just humans and orcs, 1v1, 2v2s.
They just added undead.
Oh, what? I missed that.
And 3v3s.
I don't have enough friends.
Brian's all on his own because I can't even build a fucking burrow, so. Build a farm? No. I can't play
Still just doing 1v1, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Try with other stuff, but that's all I've done.
Well, Graham, you haven't been here in 4 years.
So what have you done in the last 4 years?
I've played and watched a lot of things. But I'll just go most recently.
All right.
Last couple of weeks.
All right, that works.
I've been playing a lot of Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout in space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on. Yeah. I forgot which planet it is. The one that's not part of the
board.
The board.
Yeah.
They got kicked out of the board.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Monarch.
I'm still on the first planet. Haven't gone further.
Yeah. I've played quite a bit. I'm just starting to go get the Hope spaceship. Yeah. So I've just been doing every little side quest.
Me too.
Like I clean up my quest chart and then do a story mission. Clean up my chest quests. Yep.
Yeah.
I got all the characters and all their side quests and
Nice.
Yeah. It's really fun.
It is. It's one of the, like I was talking about it with a coworker too, and I'm going, it's one of those games where I can still pick persuasion and beat every dialogue ever.
Yeah. And that's kind of the build I've done.
It's
is
to build anybody who plays an RPG knows you pick persuasion.
Yeah.
Level up that persuasion.
Yeah, it's like, well, what about guns? And it's like, who cares? Like, I can beat something to death.
Oh, yeah.
I can run from something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't even think I've upgraded. I upgraded guns a little bit just to get
that perk or what?
To get little, like, perks that but, like, I think most of my gun stats are at, like, 10 and 20. And all of my persuasion are, like, in high 90s.
Yeah, my hacking, my persuasion, my lockpicking, I'm like...
I can point and shoot a gun.
Correct.
Like, and, like, my skill works on the guns, but I can't,
Yeah, I can't physically be, like, typing into the computer, please give me this thing, I'll
that's already predetermined.
Yeah.
So I can do headshots.
Yeah. Well, that was because Tony was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, but you can argue with a person. I'm like, but you can do that in... And I love, like, Tony's thing was the side characters also have input, which is nice.
Yes,
yeah.
But at the same time, I still don't feel like there's much... Like, it's not like if you say the wrong thing, they leave.
No, I've never had, like, a... oopsie moment.
Yeah.
Like I've had in other games where it's like, oh shit.
You pissed off this person and they are no longer your ally.
I should not have had this character with me when I walked into massacre these people.
Right. Yeah. And that's my other piece is like, I don't feel like the choices are hard to make an Outer World.
Yeah, they're pretty black and white.
Well, because there's the corporations who are clearly dicks.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who are all trying to kind of break away from it. And so you're like...
What I do like, what I've heard a lot of stories though is there's a lot of moments where there's kind of secret third or fourth options that you can kind of run around to get
well, but you can legitimately just shoot a guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's like we were talking about on the side. You can't just kill any NPC. And the game will just work around it.
That's impressive.
Like, and that was pretty impressive because like. There was one storyline moment where this character's like, okay, do these. And I'm like, no. And I just shot her right there. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. And then the game even acknowledged it. Like on a loading screen, they're like, oh, the lone wanderer person killed the head of this company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm like,
cool. Yeah. It's a fun game. It was just,
And it scratched the itch that has been left by
Fallout
76.
Yes, you mean 76 wasn't like you're not into the... You don't want to subscribe for $100 a year
for a scrap box that deletes your scrap and private servers that aren't private. And
have you heard what's going on with all of that stuff?
Oh yeah, I've been watching.
Like now it's the has versus the has-nots.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, people who aren't paying for subscriptions are hunting down people with them.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And then so now all of the people who have the subscription are banding together to fight back. Like it's this weird civil war within the game, and you're just
that
like,
is actually, I need to
I love
hear
it.
more.
like you're sitting there going,
yeah.
Bethesda accidentally did something kind of good.
Kind of, yeah.
It actually added an interesting mechanic.
It unfortunately is. There's a bunch of people who are absolutely pissed off, and that's why they're griefing.
Oh
these
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like you
But
implemented a horrible system.
Yeah.
But it's caused a very interesting
Yeah.
kind of...
Accidental.
I love the
mechanic.
sociology that comes out of video games, like the Warcraft thing. I'll always bring up the Warcraft stuff and the Plague.
Yeah.
Oh my, like that stuff.
Yeah,
and
like
then
the Plague
this
stuff.
It's,
Interesting.
people always add an interesting element to games. If it's a
That's the piece. The online aspect to
online
games is
aspect.
great.
Yeah.
It's just, it sucks that it took an online subscription where they
Yeah.
gave you a box that should have been in there in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
My only complaint about Outer Worlds, though, is I wish I could just be a space scoundrel. I don't want to be the hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and every time, like, there's that main quest sitting at the top, I'm like, I'm having so much fun just being, like, a space scoundrel. Why do I have to, like, save the colony?
I don't feel like saving the
I'm
colony.
like,
I think there's a way not to.
well, but at the same time, though, I wish that my character didn't have to be involved in that at all.
Just exit
like,
it out
that's what I
completely.
kind of liked about...
Just kind of leaves and does his own thing.
Yeah, like, that's kind of what I liked about,
Oh, Mixer, you've done it again. You were...
It's not this kind of stream.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want to block restream, but...
I mean, for views, it can be that kind of stream.
Yeah. Oh, sir or madam, let's
Okay.
not be jerks, please and thank you. There. Working on it.
Which game though was it? Or you were talking about a?
Fallout has the scrap boxes.
Oh,
No, that you wanted to just go rogue and just. Do
Oh
your
yeah,
own
just
thing.
wanted to like be in the universe,
but
not
not be the hero, the center of the.
yeah. Yeah,
Working on
like
it.
I didn't want to like.
Yeah.
I just wanted to exist.
Yeah.
Kind of like even with like Elder Scrolls games, you could just do that. Too.
Yes.
Where it's like oh, you can
Skyrim.
fight the Civil War and save the world from the dragons, or you can just go join the guild and be a thief.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Just do your own stuff.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this game. Was
Yeah.
I just wanted
Like,
to like
exist in that universe, but not be the hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is still fun to just do the storyline, but it's
Yeah.
not what I.
I'm with
Yeah.
you, and that's where I started kind of petering out with that game.
And that's
It's
kind of where actually I haven't played in a couple of days
Right.
because of it. Like
Yeah.
I have, like I could go hunt down more side quests, but I'm like I'm just looking at that main story like okay, this is
It's
something
just-
I just have to do now.
Yeah, it's just egging you on, and
Yeah.
it's there. It's hanging over you, kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's because, well, it's funny because the last time Tony was here, he's talking. He's like, I love it, and I'm like, I'm getting a little worn out.
yeah.
Like it's like.
I think they've now subscribed to us. So thank you. That's the other person.
Oh.
Thank you, Messuish. And
Messy
Manners is now also thanks, people, for the
Thanks.
following of us, I guess, and thank you and whatnots. Great, awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Hype bot. But yeah, like Tony's like, well, but like you can do this and you can do this and you can do this, and I'm like, well, how far have you gotten? He's like, I'm still in the first world, and I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, you could get like I just wanted to fly around though.
Well, yeah, like I wanted a spaceship, so.
Yeah.
But like, there's the first world. There is, you either give power to the cannery or you give power to the other, like
Yeah,
the
that
other
little
settlement.
small colony
Yeah.
And he's like, I still don't know what I'm picking, and I'm like, really?
One of my friend who's playing is the same way.
Like, I don't get it.
Pretty
That's
sure
the
she's-
easiest choice ever.
Yeah.
The
Oh, no, it
cannery
was,
guy is
yeah.
an asshole.
Well, I think like if you stick around longer, you can kind of get like if you talk to characters, every character with every dialogue.
Yeah.
And then my friend is actually stuck around because she's trying to find the like that third
Oh, the secret.
Yeah.
that secret way of like giving everybody what they need.
Ah.
So it's like you could, and that's kind of the cool part
Yeah.
where it's like
If you shoot them all.
yeah,
No one needs power.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So yeah. So And that's kind of all I've been playing. I played a little bit of like Overwatch Halloween and.
Have you played any? What's it called?
World of Warships had a little Halloween thing.
You know the game Borderlands. Have you Borderlands at all? You haven't tried Borderlands 3?
Every time I look at it, I'm like, well, I can just play Outer Worlds.
Well, so that's the pieces. Like, so we finished Borderlands 3, and then you get into Outer Worlds. Well, Borderlands is like insane action.
Yeah.
Big guns, the sliding, the jumping,
right?
The like awesome moves, and then you get into Outer Worlds, and you're like, bang, 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 and then you run and you hit the button and you just duck, and you're like, oh no. Like I've lost all mobility.
Oh yeah.
I can't jump on top of box. Like I can't mantle things. I can't do like all.
No parkouring.
Yeah. There's no parkouring, and so you're just like, I don't know what to do. 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 Like you kind of panic a bit.
Yeah. And like, well, and every time I look at what I've heard of Borderlands 3 too is
I have time to not work it.
Sorry, I've heard a lot of complaints about the story and the villains.
Oh no, it's good once you get into it.
Okay. Yeah. Because like, and also like, well, Borderlands is also one of those games too where it's like, oh, I'm definitely like muting it and just listening to whatever, and because I'm just here for like the action, the grind, the loot.
This one's not bad because the comedy's pretty good. The villains are influencers, like they're social media influencers, which is where people started getting pissed off. But they do end up actually becoming
interesting later on.
They're pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they're not afraid to do bad things.
Yeah.
Like, which is the nice part. When you think they're just influencers, you're like, oh god, we're gonna get this whole like and subscribe and
like the jokes.
Yeah. They're still there, but at the same time, like they'll kill someone and be for views.
Oh yeah.
Like it starts getting to that point, and you're just like, okay. And then it starts tying a bunch of all of the Borderlands stories together. Which I mean, we had to Wikipedia everything because we haven't played any of the other Borderlands games. But yeah, the action's definitely in there. But going from that action then to Outer Worlds, you're like,
this has slowed down dramatically.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
And then that's kind of why I'm like, I'll just do Outer Worlds until
the next thing comes out.
Yeah. We also got a game called Darkwood. It's like a little survival horror game. I have not touched it, but I keep like
it's there.
Yeah.
It's in the back burner.
I always like survival horror games.
Yeah, and it's like really like independently made.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
It's like, and the cool part is like, I literally got this game because of some random video essay on it that just sold it to me. Like the game's been out for years, but I'm like, okay, well I'm sold, but I haven't touched it yet. So, watching things. I'm still in BoJack Horseman season 6.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I haven't watched that show in forever.
Yeah. I know that's what everybody's kind of like. Every time I bring it up, they're like, "Yeah, I watched up till season 4." Like, okay, it's good. It's still good.
Yeah,
it's BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Well, I know it's one of those like with Disney Plus coming out Tuesday. I'm at the point where I'm like, Netflix can go.
Yeah, I've canceled a bunch of subscriptions.
Well, because like we haven't watched Netflix. Seth Meyers was like the last thing I watched, and I didn't know that it had released.
Yeah.
Until someone wrote about the fact that you could skip the political jokes, and I'm like,
oh, so
oh, he's got a comedy special. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
and that's what I've said before is like when Sabrina drops a new season.
Yeah, that's
I'll resubscribe.
Yeah, watch it and cancel.
Binge it, cancel it.
Yeah, and like we have like my wife watches a lot of Netflix, so it's just there, so I can just kind of like jump in when it's like,
need to.
BoJack new season, binge it, and go back.
As long as we have the W network on cable, my wife's fine. Because now we're doing the Hallmark movies to count down to Christmas.
Oh.
So there is nothing but Christmas movies. All the time.
All the time.
And I finished watching Dark Crystal, which was just
a good
masterpiece.
Good.
Is it?
Oh my God, good. It's so good.
It's one of those ones where they actually
highest praises.
It does justice to the previous
okay, or like to the point where it's like, can we just ignore that exists, and because you've surpassed you've surpassed it to the point where like, okay, let's ignore that franchise.
Yeah,
like it's like a like nod to it, but let the story, because it's a prequel, right?
Yes.
And now we're all like, oh god, don't let it end because you got to like
the
movie. No, just go, run with it.
Run with it.
Oh, man, that's one of those things. I don't know. That's cool though. It's good that they did good on that one.
Well,
because they actually did the puppets in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
the
the CGI is there to just complement and do things that you couldn't with puppets.
Yeah.
But
because I even watched the behind the scenes stuff where they're like, they're not even filming and they're just singing a song together or doing something.
And there's even there's even little things too where the CGI like the tongue in the mouth of like the Big Bird people, but very rarely. And you notice, or the spider thing wanted to jump up on the tree. Yeah. It's like, okay, that was a quick little moment of CGI, but you're like, oh, okay, that's but an amazing amount. And then it's so good that the first episode, every time I sell somebody on it, they're like, this is just puppets. But it's like, no, keep going. Until you forget that they're puppets.
That's the whole
and then you're like, oh shit, this is cool.
Well, that's why the Muppets were the Muppets back when they were the Muppets, because you didn't it's a talking frog. You were just like, it's Kermit.
Yeah. It's Kermit. And then after a while, you're like, oh shit, I completely forgot. These are puppets. It's the mouth.
Sure, it's the mouth movement.
Movement is where, but you forget that they're puppets and
But that's good puppeteers.
Guys in suits running around.
Yeah, but good puppeteers do that kind of
joke. They give life to these
even in the bloopers, as you mentioned, where they're just fucking around.
Yeah.
They're still doing a really good job. I'm bored on set, so I'm going to make them sing a Backstreet Boys song, but they're still doing amazingly puppetry.
well.
That's what they do. It's crazy to watch. I love watching. There was that... I've watched the Behind the Elmo one before that guy got canned as Elmo, but I've also watched the making of Sesame Street, and the guy who plays Big Bird is still Big Bird.
Oh yeah, he's
after
just
all of these years.
Yeah.
But Big Bird started. He couldn't see.
Oh yeah, so he's.
And one of Big Bird's hands isn't actually an arm.
Oh, it's just
it just dangles
because his hand is up here.
Oh, for the
the mouth.
The mouth. Yeah.
There's not a weird contraption.
The technology lets them kind of just.
So he has to do this, and then it's he had to count how many steps there were to a door, while still talking, so he could, because he's Big Bird.
Yeah.
Know where his head was, because his head is still that far above his hand.
Yeah.
And then finally, now with technology, there's cameras in the eyes, and he has a screen, and so inside the costume. So now he can do things, but you're just like, damn, man.
Yeah.
Because they just become these things. It's nuts.
Yeah. And in the world building is monumentally
which is always good for fantasy.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. And then, a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't really stay true. I'm like, true to what? It was
before.
Yeah. Well, and they're true to there was no lore there.
Right.
Yeah.
You get to fill it in with.
You get a blank pages.
So all of a sudden, the little elf creatures have 5 different cultures and
It's not my dark crystal.
It's and then the craziest part about the whole thing is the star-studded cast is mind-blowing. I don't know if you've ever looked at their list.
No, I've never looked.
Is that just one of those things?
Literally every single character is a famous actor you immediately recognize. It's
really?
We're just doing we're doing Dark Crystal. Do you want to join in? And people are just
and it's it would have been impossible to have paid all these people.
Taron Egerton's in.
Really?
Elmo's in.
Oh yeah, you scroll down, you're like, oh fuck, and even side characters with 2 episodes are with 2 lines, you're like, oh shit, that's this guy.
Yeah.
What's
Simon Pegg, Benedict Wong,
nice.
Keegan-Michael Key, Mark Hamill, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, and every one of the villain creatures is big name kind of actor.
Yeah, I know most of these people.
Right.
Aquafina, she's in everything lately, Lena.
Yeah.
Headey. Damn.
Right?
Toby Jones.
And they're not some of them are not big
No,
actors,
but you recognize
but you recognize them.
Andy Samberg and Bill Hader. Well, Nick's in. Helena
And
Bonham
then those 2 are the 2 characters they're only in half the season. Okay, you got big names for
Natalie Dormer.
Minor roles.
Minor roles.
Sigourney Weaver.
Jeez, they do have a lot of big names.
Damn.
And so all these characters are voiced by, and then the best part too is they're doing such good jobs voice acting.
Yes.
That you're not just oh, there's this guy is
yes.
Samberg, you can't tell it's him.
Good.
He's just doing
such a good job.
And then like
Bill Hader, I've never actually known what his actual voice is.
Yeah,
Because
right.
he's that guy.
He's that, yeah.
And then like same thing with like Simon Pegg. I was worried just it's gonna sound like Simon Pegg. No, he sounds exactly like the bird creature from that movie
years
30
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like he is putting on like the Chancellor's voice, that like almost Jar Jar Binks like
Pegg can act.
you know,
It's
like,
unfortunate we all know Simon Pegg from like Shaun of the Dead.
yeah,
Because he can actually act.
He can actually act, yeah.
Not that he wasn't acting in that movie,
Yeah.
but like that's
The only one that's kind of immersion breaking is like, but is still an excellent voice.
I'm gonna go with Mark Hamill.
Yes, exactly.
Because I find that Mark Hamill at this point in his career has one voice.
Yes. It's try not to sound like the Joker.
Yeah.
And still end up sounding like the Joker.
Yeah. So like, but there's no criticism there because the character still sounds glorious.
Sure.
But it's like it's the one character that breaks the immersion of like, okay, this is Mark Hamill.
cool.
Yeah, that's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But that's even like Darksiders the first time like I played that game.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's like that shadowy figure that follows you around,
Oh.
and he's like, "Let's do this," and you're like, "Why is the Joker telling me to do things?"
Right? And of course, he's playing the mad scientist, so
Yeah.
it works perfectly. Like
Right.
he's not playing a character that he shouldn't sound like the
Yeah.
Joker. He's playing a character that
So
sounds...
they cast him well.
They casted him perfectly
Yes.
too. So like,
I find the actor who does Illidan's voice in WoW. Like anytime he does other voice acting, I'm like, that's Illidan.
Illidan.
yeah, yeah. There's a few other. There's even a few like Blizzardy characters where they're like, can you not sound like the orc in StarCraft? Like, I know that's you.
Good old Chris Metzen.
But yeah, there's every character, and even or like the guy from Doctor Strange.
Yes,
He
Benedict
plays like
Wong.
Oh,
he
yeah.
plays the general, and you can kind of hear him a little bit in there, but no, he's still doing like
A voice.
a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's voice acting where
Yeah. And same thing with like the Emperor too. Like,
Oh.
shit, that's like Lucius Malfoy, but does not sound
Sound
like
like Malfoy.
Lucius
This is Malfoy at
Malfoy.
all.
yeah.
He sounds like a demonic bird person.
I gotta
No.
check this movie out then.
Oh yeah, it's so.
Because I wasn't
good.
sure about it when I
Oh,
first
yeah.
saw it. I was like,
I was just hoping they wouldn't screw it up.
See,
Yeah.
when I was like, I walked into it as, I just want to see the amazing puppetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could fuck it up, and I'll still probably enjoy it.
Yeah, to enjoy this part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll still enjoy like seeing the, because that was the thing with the Dark Crystal too. Like it was a pretty simplistic movie. It was
Sure.
just the visuals were mind bending,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Like this is a crazy alien world with crazy, well-made puppets.
Yep.
The story can be as dumb as like
And there's a reason-
hero's journey of I am an orphan who has to slay the monsters.
Save the
and
unknown princess.
save the princess. Like it was literally that story.
It
So I'm
was,
like,
yes.
you have anything to work with at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, it actually has like a Game of Thrones, like, you know,
Everything has to be Game of Thrones now, because Game of
Yeah.
Thrones is over. So we
Well,
need
and
everything.
the
to replace
craziest part about the Dark Crystal is they like, because a lot of people remember the Dark Crystal as that nightmare fuel movie that was meant for
That was-
kids,
it-
but was
it was
inadvertently
terrifying.
terrifying.
yeah.
Batman Returns.
They actually decided, oh hey, let's actually intentionally do that.
Like lean into it.
So like you're
Yeah.
watching it sometimes and you're looking at the quirky little characters and like, okay, why am I watching this kid's show? And then all of a sudden I'm like, this is horrifying. Why like this is genuinely horror.
How is this for kids?
How is this for I would not show this to my child. Like so it's like, okay, this is great that they actually thought
Gave
like
into it.
they gave into like, okay, this was inadvertently horror. Let's lean into the horror at
Yeah,
moments.
let's
Yeah.
go with it.
And yeah, like, and that's where I kind of compare it to Game of Thrones too, where it's like, there's those shocking, like, oh, we'll just kill characters in brutal
Yes.
ways
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
no reason, as real worlds would do, right? And it's like, oh yeah, this is horrifying. Or like have characters just like join the bad guys, because like the whole storyline is, you know, it's called Age of Resistance. It's the elf people realize that
They're fighting.
their noble bird overlords are actually nightmare creatures as they appear to be. It's like, at first, like that was the first, and that was the other funny thing too. The first few episodes, you're like, how? Like I get like if you don't know any different, like you have no like juxtaposition that these horrifying bird creatures are horrifying bird creatures. So like that first few episodes is like, you know, how do they take them as, you know?
Yeah.
But then once they get into like, oh, they're eating our souls. Okay, now they're evil.
Now they're evil.
It's like, okay, and now I'm not extending my disbelief. You little creatures are happily serving your nightmare overlords.
What did you think of the Game of Thrones finale?
Oh my!
Were we happy? Were we sad? Were we neutral? Were we somewhere?
Very
in between?
disappointed.
All right, cool.
But I'm not. I noticed the warning signs in the previous season.
Yeah.
That's what Chris was saying too.
So I was a little less shocked.
I think once
because it started wandering into fan fiction, and I'd seen the flags beforehand.
Yeah.
I think Chris's final thing was they promised that one episode that was supposed to be like an hour of just fighting.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then there was fighting, and then dialogue that didn't need to be there, and then fighting, and then dialogue that didn't need to be there.
My other problem too is it started too strong. Like it was actually doing really good.
Yeah. And then they just...
And then shit the bed.
Yeah.
So
like the first 2 episodes were actually genuinely really good. And it was like, that hurt it the most.
Yeah.
Like if it was just shit through the whole thing, it'd have been like, okay, this just turned to shit. But it's like, okay, you're actually setting this up to be good and then just drop the ball.
Yeah.
And like, and the weirdest part too was it did feel so rushed that like the writers were forgetting shit, like,
and then leaving Starbucks cups and
leaving Starbucks cups and like the mistakes were just dumb.
Oh man.
And even like people were like, I've watched more content
about
it
how
and
bad
like
it was.
trying to fix it, and like a lot of them are just simple little like things to fix.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem with it is Game of Thrones' strongest like thing was the realism.
Yeah.
So and then like the moment they ran out of his books, like you've noticed right out the gate that these the show writers are only good at translating his books into the show and not doing their own content.
Yeah.
And it turned into fan fiction. And
which no show should
the biggest problem too was like they should have just passed the torch. Because the last 2 seasons felt rushed.
Yeah.
Like, it took whole seasons for a character to go from point A to point B, and now they're, like, teleporting.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're clearly just trying to rush this to the end.
Yeah.
And you could have gone on for, like,
that's what else.
8 more seasons.
Well, that's what else Chris
with
said
a more patient writer.
Yeah. Well, even the last season was down to, 8 episodes, something like that.
Oh, yeah, it was like 6 episodes.
Yeah, he's like, why not extend it to this and get a little bit more...
Oh, you could have had, whole seasons out of, the... And even watching some of the most recent video essays trying to defend it, it's like, okay, the biggest problem was they rushed it. Because once you start nitpicking and go, oh, they did set that up, but the problem is they condensed it into an episode, right? Like,
but that was kind of Chris's thing, too, is he's like, they spent an episode doing something they could have spent 2 episodes going over.
Yeah, like,
and then
the old
shows,
give
us
they'd
the payoff.
spend, a whole fucking hour-long episode just fucking around.
Well, that's why I only made it through so many episodes.
Right?
Chris told me the Blu-rays, and I'm like watching them.
So thick. Well, even when you're touching the novel, holy shit!
I can't.
I read the first chapter, and I'm like, these were throwaway characters in a 5-minute scene, but you gave me this guy's whole life
story
to kill him.
I sit beneath this tree, and I'm going.
Yeah, like the first 3 guys that the demon creatures kill. You got their whole life.
Yeah.
And how they interconnect with the whole world.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a dungeon master's, dream.
Sure.
Basically. Like, George R. R. Martin just basically was like, he was a dungeon master without a table to play with, so he just like.
But that's like Tolkien, where he gives you the Lord of the Rings series, and it's full of all those details that reading, you're going, I don't care.
Yeah. He's a world builder.
You spent 50 pages telling me how these characters are running across fields, and what every hill looks like, and every blade of grass, and every this, and every that, which translates well to making a movie.
Oh yeah, because they wrote the script.
Yeah. They've written your script. They've given you your scene. They've like the scenery. They've given you all of those pieces, and it's just but reading it, like I tried getting into the Game of Thrones thing, and I tried getting into it before the show came out because back in high school we had a couple friends who were like, "These are the most amazing books you will ever read in your entire life," and I'm like, "Okay, I like fantasy novels. I dig this kind of." I start reading, and I'm like, "Nick's out."
Most of my enjoyment of Game of Thrones, in retrospect, has been going onto YouTube and just like having the lore explained to me, like. And even like the bonus features, they would have that. They just have one of the characters from the show just, they'd have a cool cartoon animation and they talk over it. And here's like the story of this kingdom. Nice. It's like, okay, this is just fun to like.
The world building piece of the game.
Yes. This is fun to explore.
Just wondering what you thought, because, I don't Game of Thrones and Tony doesn't Game of Thrones. You're on the last season when it comes out on the Blu-ray. Because Chris lent you all of them and you actually watched them.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing to just let it.
I heard it was anticlimactic.
Especially since you could so cynically see how
it was coming.
And especially when you start watching like the behind the scenes of those fucking show writers.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just want to move on to our next big paycheck with Disney for Star Wars, and we're just bored of translating somebody else's work.
Yeah.
Good, because fucking shame on them.
Yeah, they quit that job.
But it's like, and that's kind of like, that was the biggest insult to injury, was like, and you could even tell like
they stopped caring,
and the actors still cared, and like you could tell that there was still so much care, but for those two idiots.
Yeah.
And if I was HBO, I'd been like, fucking see ya.
Yeah, you're not making a show anymore.
Yeah. You're dead to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then poor HBO too, because like they had a bunch of spin-offs everyone was actually excited for, and now we're not excited for them, and it's like, fuck you.
So
just,
you got to build that back up somehow.
Yeah.
Are they still is HBO still going with those side projects?
There's money into it. You can't.
And also remember, George R. R. Martin's like world building is so fucking extensive that you could just go here and now and voila, there's a whole thing to do, right?
Yeah.
You could even write your own character, like
they could do whatever they want now as long as it takes place.
Like you could do what you do in like real world fiction, where like I just want to make up my own character to live World War II.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Game of Thrones. It's like, here's the war of
this thing, and it's through the eyes of Bob, the eccentric,
even George R. R. Martin's done that himself. He's done little short stories following two characters just during an event that he referenced, right?
Yeah,
but that's like even the Legend of Drizzt series that I read by R.A. Salvatore. He'll do that too, where it's like he did offshoot series where he creates this character who's kind of a cool character, and he's like, I'll write 5 books about him. Why not? And you're going, cool.
Right?
Like they go and slay a dragon, like these two guys over the course of a book go and kill a dragon, and you're like,
once you have that world, you can just kind of like, here's somebody else, and I'm just gonna run with that for a bit, right?
Well, and legit, all fantasy novels are people playing D&D and just without the table.
And even like, it is said, like my enjoyment of Game of Thrones has been almost documentary style videos talking about the world. So I'm like, they could just do fucking whatever they want now. But it's sad that
ended that way.
Yeah, and then like left a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, now no one really trusts
whatever they do next. It's kind of like what we just alluded to with the Diablo thing in our newscast, was like,
you really got to bring it.
Now you have to actually like work on something.
Yeah, now you actually have to do good.
Yeah,
before you just had to you could have just rolled in with like an
like
show.
If it would have ended good, they could have just like same sets, same costumes, just new actors, write a new story, and like they could have lazily just pumped out whatever they
We're fighting over the gold throne.
They could have done a Walking Dead thing where they're just like, okay, let's just do new plays, new characters.
Yeah.
with all their spin-offs, right? So
yeah, we're gonna. It's the gold throne, and it's made out of a bunch of crowns, and we're fighting over it because it
like
controls the lands of this place.
Yeah, like they could have done anything,
and people would have been like, "Sweet, more Game of Thrones."
More Game of Thrones. But no, now it's.
There you go. What else? Right. You done? You good?
I'm done.
There's just a question mark on that one.
Oh, because
so I was like,
I listen to a lot of Audible too, and I'm like, that's like, as I said, my problem with the whole "what are you watching" question is
YouTube.
Hundreds of hours of YouTube. And all those videos can be anywhere from like 10 minutes to, and then I follow like a dozen different channels, so it's like,
Well, it's what we had been talking about getting. Man of Medan or whatever that game was, or Curse of Medan or whatever that QuickTime game, but you play with other people and it affects the story. So we were talking about it because Chris, it was on sale before Halloween, and he's like, should we get it and give it a go? Because we kind of ran out of co-op stuff to play because we're done with Borderlands. And it's like, I don't know about a QuickTime kind of game. And the Game Grump started playing it, and I'm like, I feel like I have played this game.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of games like that too lately where it's like, I'm pretty sure no one I know actually got God of War. They just all watched a let's play, a whole walkthrough, and then they just lived vicariously through that.
That was the second game I had for my PlayStation, so I went through it. I got my PS4 when the Spider-Man game came out, so I breezed through Spider-Man, and then it's like, now what? So I played some hockey. Kind of palate cleanse, and then it's like, and God of War, because now that's the next big adventure.
So it's like, okay, well.
But yeah, no, for a lot of those games where it's like, this is really expensive for something that, like, $30 for a QuickTime game.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No, especially since, a lot of those are just movies with QuickTime events.
And that's exactly what it was. So it's like, I can watch this. And the only compelling part was, like, there's choices to be made. So it's like, oh, well, I wouldn't have made that choice. Yeah. But again, I'm not spending $30 to make the other choice.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No. Especially when they're like going to be a one-time play kind of thing too.
Yeah, it's not something that you could.
It's not like the Forest where we can build a mansion and be like we are dogs and doing that kind of stuff and then
faff about kind of. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, our kid has been missing for one of our kids.
Yeah, we've got his name already.
I watched the full playthrough on that one.
Them actually going for the kid.
Yeah. Them actually getting to the end just to see how the game ends. Because majority of the time people are building playing it just to build forts. And fight.
Oh, we had like a four level mansion.
Yeah. And traps everywhere that would just fight off anything that would come.
Nothing could actually touch our base.
And that's where that game was fun.
But that was even we played Conan Exiles too. And same thing where it's just like, we shall build a giant fortress atop this hill. And it's like, well, but there's a story, and it's like, we shall build a giant fortress atop this hill.
And then we tried to do a dungeon, right?
We did a dungeon.
But it was just like, let's go build some more stuff.
Well, we got out of the dungeon, and it's like, we got a head to hang in our giant fortress atop the hill. If you give me fort building, I'm going to build a fort.
The same thing with Minecraft.
Sure.
I'm not here to...
I haven't played Minecraft, I think, since the last time we played Minecraft on our server 8,000 years ago.
You were telling us that you caught him with hitting a stick of TNT.
You built a giant, golden altar atop the hill, and I loaded it with TNT, and you caught me, so I just blew us up.
And I actually jump back in here. They're just something to listen to while I'm...
Oh, yeah.
Or something to play while I'm listening.
Yeah.
See, that's like, I'll get into hockey or I'll get into, like, a sports game because you can play a game.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're done.
And then you don't have to...
And see, even with, another thing with Minecraft I like to do is I like to use it as, like, a...
World builder.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, I just want to randomly generate a map, and then I'm going to set up what little settlements would actually exist on this map. Yeah. So, because even, for our giant Warhammer campaign...
Right.
The whole map was actually based off of a Minecraft map.
Nice.
Just so I had the whole thing
in your
memorized
head,
in my head, and knew where things were and
in relation to what.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is it's a fun way to just randomly generate it too. Yeah, that's
cool. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. See you in 4 years.
Yeah. I'll be back next week because that's what I do. So. I live here. I mean, I don't live here. This is a professional studio with this wall that I've put up and a TV.
This is like a 100-inch TV.
It's huge. Yeah. It's huge. It's huge. That TV got bigger.
That it actually does.
Because that TV started dying. So I got the same size TV and put it over there. I moved that TV over here. So, either way, thanks for watching, everybody. Join us. Check us out at BrNN. Also, like, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends to watch us too. Bye.
Bye.